which is opinions. And I will start with or continue with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, this is opinion, is the greatest player of all time. Flat out. He changed the game so much to where it became global. Even with Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, that whole crew coming in the 80s, they started it. They laid the foundation, but Mike took it to a whole nother level. And just like we talked about Anthony Edwards saying he was the only skilled player during that time. Well, he was probably the most athletic player during that time. And he showed what an athletic wing, because back then the game was dominated by centers for the most part. He was one of the first wings to come in and really just dominate on both sides. He was a two-way player that could get it done. Scoring, he can get you 40 a night and play against the other team's best perimeter player. So, I mean, two-way. I was about to say the other person's name, but we can't do that. He was able, the older he got, he was able to transition into more of a jump shooter, a mid-range shooter, where his athleticism started to slip some. He was able to create one of the most, well, he didn't create it, but he was able to perfect one of the hardest shots to block or to contend with, and that's the fadeaway jump shot. So he was able to use his post moves, his footwork, and become an assassin from the mid-range. And doing this while also still guarding the other team's best perimeter player, especially in the playoffs. Mike guarded the best perimeter player on the other team more times than Scottie Pippen. People don't realize that, but out of their championship years, the 6 years they won a championship, 8 times LeBron had to guard the opposing team's best perimeter player, Scottie 7 times. So he wasn't just a scorer like a lot of people try to make him out to be. He was also a top-notch defender. Of course, he won a DPOY, so of course he was. He probably could have 8-peated had he not left after 93. I don't think that Rockets team would have beat them. You know, they would have had to make a few moves. No, those Rocket teams were not. They were Hakeem, and then who was after Hakeem? Nobody. So those Bulls, as long as they kept Horace Grant and the team intact, that team wasn't losing to the Houston Rockets. So that would have been, I mean, 8-peating would have just been, I mean, we wouldn't be having this debate right now if they 8-peated. So, but of course he left, came back, got 3 more. Best shooting guard of all time. If you heard the stats, he was number 1 or in the top 10 in almost, other than, I think, like I said, blocks and assists. I don't think he was in the top for those, but everything else, he was either number 1 as a shooting guard or in that top 10 range. He wasn't a bad 3-point shooter. Oh, my time is up. Okay. Well, all right. To make it fair, I'm gonna stop myself because I still had a few more left. But just to be fair, that's all of my opinions for right now. The free for all is no time limit, so I could throw some of that back in there.
Okay, yeah. So we're talking about opinions again. I still believe LeBron James is the GOAT. Obviously, his legacy is still being written. He's got more points to get, more assists, more rebounds, the whole shebang, right? But if we look at LeBron's career in its totality, we witnessed LeBron adapt and adjust and dominate in many different eras, right? He came in as a rookie back in like the kind of old school 2000s era where you have, 2 7-foot bigs, playing that slower pace of a brand of basketball. And we see LeBron, we see that he's a freak of nature. He can't be stopped going downhill, right? Both things that are still true to this day. And then we see in the 2010s era, now we're starting to see a little bit more shifting in the power forward position. That power forward position is starting to slowly turn into a stretch. And now we have everybody shooting the 3 ball up into the late 2000s or 2010s and then early 2020s. Obviously, the game evolved to a completely different league, a 3-point shooting league. And what does LeBron do? He's able to adjust. He's able to, get his three ball where it needs to be. He's able to shoot the midi. He's got the work in the post. We talk about in his peak, he can guard 1 through 5. He can guard bigs. He can guard point guards. We've seen clips of him chasing down Tony Parker back in that 2013 finals, right? And then we see him go and block Tim Duncan's shot. Like, he is the most versatile player we've ever seen, the likes of which you can't even say, a Magic. He's got more in his bag than Magic, right? He's got more defensive versatility than a Scottie Pippen, than a Dennis Rodman, even. Like, LeBron is just that great with his versatility, his all-around dominance. I mean, you want to talk about the list of things going on. And on top of that, we have to also bring in coaching, right? I don't think LeBron's had a Hall of Fame level coach. We're not going to say the other person, but we have to put, and I say coaching not to discredit anybody that's coached him, but to his sheer basketball IQ. You guys have seen the clips where he can recite the other team's playbook. That's generational level talent. Like, even one of the people who played against your guy, Isaiah Thomas, called LeBron James the Einstein of basketball, right? And we've seen countless upon countless times of people, players, coaches raving about LeBron James' IQ. It's like no other. Even Magic Johnson says he thinks the game in a level that no other player can even comprehend, right? He's a basketball savant. We have all those things together, tied in with LeBron James' skill set. We have never seen a player like him. We never will see a player like him. You know what player we have seen like your guy? That'll be Kobe Bryant, right? He took your guy's game and made it better. We can't say that about my guy, right? And we talking opinions, so you can disagree, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, right? You want to talk about Jordan, right? Your guy. Tougher. I would say he had a tougher road to get to the finals, but I would say he had a cakewalk in those finals, right? Those Stockton, Karl Malone, right? You want to talk about the Supersonics with Gary Payton and the crew, all right? The Phoenix Suns, they were formidable, but they weren't nowhere near the competition that LeBron had in the finals. Now, to your man's credit, you could say LeBron had a cakewalk to the finals, right? We saw them teams he used to beat up in the Eastern Conference. We don't need to list them. Some of them were god-awful. Watched them tear up that Pistons team like butt cheeks. Not the old school Pistons team, but the 27 when they were like the 8th seed, 7th seed, when they just had no business playing against that Cleveland team. We understand that. But the finals competition, we'd never seen your guy play anybody like the 2017 Warriors, right? Not even close. That was honestly probably the greatest team ever assembled that rivals your man's 72-10 team, right? You can make that argument, right? They're putting that team in the conversation with the 01 Lakers, right? We get all that. We have the 07 Spurs, and I'm probably getting close to my time, but we understand LeBron's finals competition is by far greater than your man's, and that's why his finals record shows it.
Okay, you got it in there because you got 5 seconds left.
Yeah, I had to cut myself short.
But okay, so we heard that. We heard your opinions. We heard your facts. We got sports talk only in here. I believe he's a LeBron fan. So we'll see what he has to say. But okay, so first 2 rounds, we had your facts, we had the opinions. So now it's a free for all. So now, no 5 minutes. We can go as long as needed to prove our point.
Appreciate you, sports talk only. Bron is the GOAT. My guy.